Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a review and analysis, including some tips that I've learned over the last few weeks playing this beautiful Tier 9 vehicle, which is one of the best Tier 9 vehicles in the game, I believe. And today I'll be showing you 3 excellent games of this tank that showcase, both the strengths and weaknesses of this. And I don't want to bore you, so I'm going to be trying to explain some of my thoughts on the tank in general and some of the things that I learned about the vehicle, but also I'll stop myself during the exciting moments of this game and the other two to sort of give you a heads up of what to think and how to play in certain circumstances of the game. So as you just saw now, that was my opening spot of the game, my opening spotting route, which I believe every wheeled vehicle player should think of an opening scouting route that they do at the beginning of every map. They don't have to stay there in that section for the rest of the game, but just an opening scouting loop, basically. It's just basically a loop. You stay there for maybe 30 seconds, get some spotting damage, and then head out to where light tanks usually play. And so that's exactly what I'm doing here, is that I just did my scouting loop, and now I'm gonna go back to the center where normal light tank play unfolds, where you can have good vision over the center and to the right as well, and take advantage of these hills to provide safety for yourself. And so a lot of this game, you'll see, I treat my light tank play, especially my EBR play, as more of a football game where you might be on the sidelines getting ready for your next play. You might be like assembling the team and analyzing your enemy, and then making aggressive plays, calculated aggressive plays when needed. So right now I'm sort of analyzing the situation, trying to get more spots, trying to figure out where the enemy is, and waiting for my team to create a position for me where I can make an aggressive play. With these wheeled vehicles, you don't need to be making aggressive plays 24/7. The best EBR players know when to be passive and they know when to be aggressive. So right here I'm just kind of not doing much, just taking a couple pot shots here and there and trying to scout my best. But here you realize that someone broke through your enemy lines, and it's your job as the EBR, as a light tank, to intercept any light tanks going in the middle of your own lines. Good light tank players are very good at fast moving combat, and a lot of times your tank destroyer players, your medium and your heavy tanks, aren't very good at shooting light tanks going full speed. They're not used to it, and they don't have the skill. If you're a dedicated light tank player, you want to bring your skills to where they're needed on the map, which is chasing other light tanks and ending them, that especially when they cross into your own ally lines, because you want to save you already use your friend as a wheeled vehicle, as you may know. So here, not much to do. I'm waiting for my mediums to kind of push up. Our Progetto and Skoda should be pushing up now, especially that I scouted this bush right here. And I see the Leopard. I saw his barrel looking the other way, so I should be pretty safe to take a shot right there. And I'm getting ready for my next aggressive move here. I see the mediums rolling in. I want the mediums to be the center of attention for the enemy when they push. So I'm gonna take the left side of the hill where I can get side shots. And in these types of matches, if you take a look at the heavy area of the map, there's a great possibility for sandwiching right there at the end. So I need to stay alive so I can take advantage of shooting those heavies in the back later in the game. And so here, this is like one of the things I love. You know, this is an aggressive flank where, you know, you saw me kill that Jagdpanzer, the Leopard's gone, and now you're leading the charge into the 2 enemy Russian mediums, which it's just unleashing the dogs right now. Before I was playing very passive, but now that I know that, you know, our mediums are advancing, you want to lead the charge and you want to distract the enemy until your mediums get there. If you can keep your health intact. If you can't keep your health intact, then don't bother. Here I see a juicy T-54, and I see that he's a tomato with bad win aids. And so I know generally with tomatoes, they can only focus on one thing at a time. So if they have 2 tanks focusing on there, they're only going to focus on the tank that they saw first. And that's what that T-54 did. You know, he didn't even notice I was shooting him in the side. He didn't even try to turn his hull. Instead, you know, he's focused on the one tank he saw first. And, you know, you might not realize it, but yes, tomatoes can only focus on one thing at a time. Probably because they're just not used to multitasking, or they're just, you know, not very good at the game yet, or maybe they're, you know, a little inferior in terms of intellectual capacity. I don't know. You'll be the one to judge that. But here's what I'm talking about. Staying alive. I could have been a lot more aggressive, gotten a little more damage, especially in that fight with the Leopard. I could have gotten more damage if I was more aggressive, but I wanted to make sure I saved some hit points so I could just farm these guys from the back. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. So as this game wraps up, I want to give you guys, you know, a heads up for what's next. I'm gonna showcase 2 games. One game is like, you know, a total carry. The other game is a good support game. And I'm gonna be sharing with you everything that I know, everything that has made me a decent EBR player, so that I could try to help you get into the game as well. But I'm also gonna pause and try to, you know, help explain some of these good plays here. Fortunately, I miscalculated there and I died. But anyways, I will bring you guys the next game here. So I just showed you a game on a somewhat larger map. This is sort of a more difficult map if you don't know what you're doing with an EBR, a wheeled vehicle. With this map, it's about intense focus, it's about intense map awareness, and very quick attention to detail. Now, right off the bat, I noticed that the first EBR was right behind a you know, a dead tank prop, so I didn't even bother risking my health to try to shoot at it. It looks like it accidentally ran into the rubble there, and so I wait for that EBR to do its own scouting run, and then I counter it with a juicy shot into the side. Maybe I should have shot HE there. You know, I see a lot of players shooting HE, a lot of good players shoot HE. I've seen very good players, you know, not shoot HE at all with these. Maybe only have like 3 or 4 bullets on hand. And it's because it's not very consistent. Even with the 90 or so penetration of the HE shot, you have to make sure you can practice this. You can practice this over and over again, but when you're at like a 1v1 light tank duel, you want to treat that light tank like you're almost fighting a heavy tank, where you want to shoot for the weak spots where you know that your HE can pen, which sometimes can be difficult for players when they're focusing on driving, you know, a 90 kilometer per hour vehicle. It's already hard enough, and you're probably weaving in and out of multiple lines of fire. So it's hard enough to get the right shot on a light target, that sometimes AP is just the better way to go because it gives you a more consistent shot. You can make calculated plays more, and you'll have less impact from bad RNG, which everyone hates bad RNG. So I think that's why a lot of players, including myself, like to stick with AP, even though this tank's really good at its HE fire. But you'll see me shoot some HE, make some big juicy shots soon. I hate playing against, you know, Russian mediums with this tank, and I don't have the gold ammo loaded. It's horrible. You'll see this 257. It's an odd place for an object 257. It's basically a tier 9 IS-7. And you'll see that 257 later in this game here. So this really freaked me out when I saw that light tank get to that OP position. You know, that really freaked me out, and I was thinking to myself, you know, we're schmucked here. Because we have a Progetto, we did two very big, lightly armored mediums just sitting in the field. They're just gonna get lit up. And I can't really do much about it. I could have probably gone and like dueled it out with him. But the thing with wheeled vehicles is you're put at a disadvantage when you go into close quarters combat with another same tier light tank as yours, because they have more HP. They generally have more damage per minute. And with those Chinese ones, it's harder to pen them with HE, I've found. If it was a German light tank, I probably would have gone up, shot him a couple times with HE and duked it out with him. Maybe sacrificed like 2/3 of my hit points, but generally I hate it when I 1v1 light tanks that are good light tanks like that WZ is. He's a light blue like I am. You end up sacrificing all of your hit points just to get a couple damage shots with another light tank. It's just not worth it. You see, he's at like probably a 400 hit point advantage right now. That was such a lucky shot. So here I'm trying to distract him to let our Progetto do his thing. What should have happened is our WZ light tank at C0 should have came and helped me, you know, extinguish this threat, but instead he's just sitting over there. Can't expect much from him. There our Progetto's down. And I see that our heavies are probably going to lose soon. Our 3 arties are like holding on for their life in the center, all right next to each other. We still have a full life WT, and you know, I'm afraid of that object 257 in the town area. Just trying to snipe me. I know he has bad aim, and that's something you can abuse with this light tank, unlike some other light tanks that just aren't quick enough to dodge bullets. When you're looking at like an IS-7 or another Russian heavy tank that doesn't have good accuracy, that has long aim time, this is a tank that you can greatly abuse their bad aim and, you know, do very well at avoiding their shots from the mid to long range here. So now I'm probably thinking, you know, get to the back bushes so that I can snipe their WZ without being spotted, but also stay hidden from the 257. That's, you know, that's the goal here, and this is the one place to do that. Because I want to, if I can keep these 2 tanks occupied, 2 high tier tanks, then maybe our heavies can stand a chance in the city. Just maybe. So here I'm just waiting it out. There's not much I can do. Because I want to also protect my arties from any flank attack, so I don't want to go in the city and try to duke it out with some heavies there. So now I notice the light tank, you know, drove back in the city. He left his original post. So I'm going to go take a good shot at this T-30. Someone does it for me. So there's a full health 257 back here. I don't know, what will you guys do here? Is it safe to scout? That's what was going on through my mind. I figured I had to do it. Now where is that 257, I'm thinking? And lo and behold, he's he cowered all the way to the back with his full hit points. So I tried to take advantage of his bad gun depression by going in that little ditch. It was hardly anything, but it was enough to, you know, to do it. So now I'm just trying to get the hail out of here, because I have a WZ on my tail. Take a good shot at him. This is another great advantage you have over light tanks, because in the heat of the battle, you both are going at high speeds, you both are making a lot of turns, and their light tanks can simply, like, especially the Chinese ones, they don't have the, you know, the gun handling to be able to keep up with you. Sometimes you can even circle them and their turrets can't even follow you fast enough. So I'm just really outplaying him, and I guess I'm not really outplaying him, I'm just in a better tank for this kind of battle. And in most light tank battles, you know, you both are going at high speeds and you're both trying to dodge the other player. The wheeled vehicles are very good at this. So I thought I had a free shot there. I'm just trying to keep myself unseen from the 257. This WZ has no idea what's going on. I don't know what he's doing here. Take a blind shot, and I figure, why don't I just go kill him? I see that he's looking at something. You could see his barrel is looking at something. So it looked like he was zoomed in or something. Otherwise, his barrel would have been towards the house, probably. Because then he would have more flexibility to see me. Or to move his barrel towards me. So now I see this T-95 in the city, and I'm like, do I want to go around him? And if you look at the mini-map, do I want to go around him and shoot him in the back? I could. I can maybe do that if the 257 is still back in the corner, but I didn't want to take any chances. See, there you go again. The 257 is just a bad aim, bad gun handling, Russian heavy, and it's very hard for them to hit you on the move, especially when they're a mediocre player. So I kind of spun out of control here, but I'm trying to hit him in the back. And then I'm like, okay. On the last non-RD vehicle in the game, on our side, I need to pull a Hail Mary. I need to pull a Hail Mary here. You have a almost full life Object 257. You know, I'll take a moment and think about all the possible scenarios here. How am I gonna win this? How can I possibly win this? Well, first by taking out the low-hanging fruit, the RD. So here, unfortunately, I missed here. And I know he's reloading. I'm not great on RD reload speeds because I hate playing RD and I never like to study them. Probably should. But I ended up schooling him anyways. So you got one RD down. You still have, you know, the elephant in the room. You still have like 2 high health, heavy vehicles. And I'm running low on ammo. Like I only have 10, 17 bullets, and 7 of those are HE that won't pen those guys. So really I only have 10 bullets. So I know I can't kill them. We're gonna have to cap this out some way or the other. I'll try to be more silent. I feel like I'm talking too much. I'm ruining the gameplay. Basically here I'm trying to look for the straggler. You have 2 people on cap, you have to kill the straggler and then go for the cap. Once you see 3, I got really scared. You got 20 seconds to reset. Our RD does... Okay, see, it totally... I haven't been spotted for a while, so they didn't even know I was going like this. Juicy shot at the back of the RD. Oh, I love that. So I know the T-95 is shooting. I have to be very careful. I can get that RD. Come on. Alright. 20 seconds left. We have a guy in the cap. All I have to do is reset, but I have to reset both of them. How can I possibly reset both of them within the next 10 seconds? Can I do it? First you have to dodge a stupid Russian. So, 2 seconds left. I have HE loaded. Boom, critical hit. And I have to do what I have to do. Take both of them off the cap for at least a shot at winning. And you'll see, this is about the dumbest move I've ever seen in an enemy team. They're gonna win, and they're 257. 257. That was cowering in the back the whole game, pretty much. Goes off cap because he thinks he can get to his own cap within the allotted time period, 30 seconds. So it's up to this RD. Can the 257 get back in time? I thought he could. I thought he had enough time. But I guess not. He probably just hit a rock, or he, you know, I'm not sure. But this guy, he's definitely a hero. I don't know how he could have figured that I could reset both of them. But so this is the last game I'll show you here, and I'll try to get the last tips in and techniques that I've learned to do well here. Now remember, for these bigger maps, you want to open the game with an opening scouting strategy. You want to have, you know, a route that you do to get, you know, some juicy RD shots to hit the enemy at the start of the game, or maybe some TD shots, or maybe just to scout the enemy. And so I found that this route could be sometimes dangerous, but usually you get a lot of good info from doing this route. And so unfortunately I got counter spotted, and this is, you know, something you just have to be aware of that can destroy your opening spot as a counter spot. And there's a lot of there's only 2 light tanks in this game on their team. But, you know, sometimes you have to get counter spotted and your whole opening spot ring doesn't go well. So usually at this time there's like, for these big maps I'll probably have 500 damage combined by the first scouting, you know, from the first scouting push. But, you know, now I'm sitting at 0, so I'm kind of feeling alright, but things could be better. So I'm wondering if I should do the center run. A lot of times you see light tanks doing the center run. It's pretty dangerous, especially if you get spun out or if you hit a rock. So with only 4 tanks spotted, there's not that much info I can work with here. There's probably a couple TDs in the back. Might be even a medium somewhere in the middle here that I haven't spotted yet. And so I'm just sitting here. I wouldn't feel this confident doing this move with a slower light tank with a, you know, with a tracked vehicle, because then I couldn't get out of it as fast enough. And I don't know if I would have been as confident as making that shot either. This is one of those instances when you have to hit, you know, the switching driving mode from fast to slow. When you're in a position where you don't need speed, you want to switch to slow because that gives you so much more flexibility in terms of hiding around hard cover and that sort of thing. You have much more better handling. You guys probably already know that though. I was very surprised that tank shot me. I thought he was busy with our tanks up there. So I know there's TDs probably at their cap, so I'm being very careful. I'm just kind of waiting this out because it's a slow game. So I'm trying to scout this EBR. He's probably long gone, but I have to be very careful here, especially with the Yetis. There we go. Now there's a E1 behind me. I didn't really notice it, so I didn't get to take a good shot at him. Yeah, I didn't notice it until he already got into cover. I see that this AMX is trying to retreat, so the good speed on this thing and the good camouflage allows you to get into positions where you can punish the retreaters. Just like that. You got like 400, 500 spotting damage right there too. So that AMX, sometimes they just try to suicide you at this point. Luckily this guy's trying to escape for his life. Suiciding is probably the worst fear an EBR driver has. Because like, you have to make yourself look like a second tier vehicle. You don't want to be like the front end vehicle that people want to rush and just get rid of. You want to look like a supporting vehicle. Now watch this AMX right here. Oh, poor guy. 900 damage spotting. So I'm alerting my team. I'm about to scout here. I'm a little cautious. Ooh. That was close. I see that E100, and do I want to try to hit his side? Am I going to be able to pen him? I don't like using gold when I don't have to. Then this guy comes out of nowhere and I get totally schmucked. And so now I know I might be dead here. So I hit him once. And luckily my reload's fast enough here. Boom. Got really lucky there. For some reason his HE didn't pen me, and that's another reason why I don't like using HE. Because just you can't make those moves when you have the lack of confidence in your own ammo. If he was using AP, I probably would have been dead. So here's another tomato. And like I was saying earlier, the tomatoes, the players with red win 8, as you can see that red bar next to them, players with red win 8 can only focus on one thing at a time. And so he doesn't even realize I'm shooting him in the side. He doesn't even look at me. He doesn't even try to get into cover. So he's just free meat. Those players should not be playing at tier 9. Period. And so this is the EBR. I mean, it's an awesome tank. I hope you guys liked the video, and I'll put on more light tank related vehicles, and maybe some others soon. But you know, this tank's really fun, and it can be very powerful in the right hands. See you guys later.